Descartes states the only thing that remains for him to do is to inquire whether material things exist, like this tree or this pink elephant. He makes a distinction between mental imagery, the imagination, and the intellect, pure intellection or conception, by using the example of the pentagon and chiliagon. Descartes then says the imagination is no way necessary to the body or to his nature. If he had no imagination, he would still remain the same. In the intellect, the mind turns towards itself, but in imagination, it turns towards the body, like that. He realises he has to carry out an examination into senses perception if he is to reach any certain proof of the existence of corporeal things. He then describes the nature of sense perception and expresses two strong arguments to think that his ideas must resemble objects outside himself. These arguments are that he has no control over what ideas he has, and secondly, that his ideas are more vivid, more expressive than those he has formed by himself. He repeats the sceptical arguments he has used before to conclude that I do not think, in truth, that I ought rashly to accept all the things which the senses seem to teach us. He states in more extreme way that his belief that the mind and the body are distinct things of the substances and that mind may exist without the body. He states that the ideas of material things must derive from either external reality or corporal nature from God himself. He then concludes that one must confess that the corporal things exist, as we have very strong inclination to believe in an external reality, and that if such reality did not exist, we would have to conclude that God is willfully deceiving us, but he is no deceiver. In other words, we are stuck in a matrix. He returns to the relationship between mind and body and accepts that nature teaches me that he has a body, that his mind is so compounded and intermingled with it, so that it forms a single whole. He realises that he has a major problem how to account for the ordinary everyday illusion. Falsity is my judgment, and takes the example of the fever dropsy, where the patient has an overwhelming craving for water, whereas the consumption of water will worsen his condition and not alleviate the symptoms. He then undertakes a description and examination of the body, divisible where the mind is indivisible, showing how it compromises many interactive systems. Descartes says that we need to accept that God is responsible for the nature of man and that he could have made them differently, although if you did to Dawkins, this is a bit of a problem. He then states that the mind complexity of the connection between mind and body works generally in our best interest. He sees the apple and he thinks the apple, but that it sometimes is faulty and deceptive, and that this does not alter the sovereign goodness of God. We must recognise the infirmity and weakness of our nature and attend to things carefully so not to fall into error. Right, wrong, but I prefer the pink elephant.